And now we're gonna cast Boundless Realms, and we're gonna search a library for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18, 19. For 19 more lands, and 19 lands go into play. This is a stompy control build, and the goal of this deck is to get 8 lands onto the battlefield as quickly as possible to play Journey of the Oracle as quickly as possible and get to 8 mana by turn, we'll say 4 or 5. We'll have 8 lands in play. And then we can play around Jadzi and just play control. But when I played that game last Friday, I didn't get the opportunity to get 8 lands into play on turn 4. And the goal of today's stream is to consistently get to 8 lands by turn 4. So when we set up the playtesting for this, it's basically just going to be, we're going to play up to turn 4 and see if I can play Journey to the Oracle turn 3 or 4 to at least have 6 or 7 or 8 lands in play. That's the entire goal. It's like a 4 of generally. Okay, so we have 0 card draw spells in our hand right now. We have kind of like a counter spell, kind of like a card draw spell. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, if you, I think it was you that posted the modern deck. If I looked at it, if I'm being 1,000,000% honest with you, I would look at it and have really no idea what I'm looking at. I mean, I could look at it and see how the cards intertwine and how they work together. But like, I'm not too sure if it would be like, I think like I can talk about Commander because I play a lot of Commander, but like when I talk about things I don't know about, I don't talk because I don't know anything, you know? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I do, like I know something that I don't, you know? I'm just looking for a good way to draw cards. I mean, sounds like what red-green should be doing. Sounds very gruel. First deck I ever played was, we can play this Glimpse of the Cosmos. The first deck I ever played was Selesnya. It was Selesnya. I'm gonna take out this redirect and I'm gonna add this Glimpse of the Cosmos. Just draws cards. And then we're gonna play with this and we'll see how this works out. So we're gonna draw here into a forest. Okay, we'll play the Tanglepool Bridge tapped. We're only gonna play 4 turns and see how many lands we can get into play in 4 turns. And then we gotta do that consistently, like 3 or 4 times, and then I know that when I go sit down and play that this deck is gonna do what I want it to do. Yeah, I mean, like, is there a control decks in Modern? Because that's probably what I would end up playing. So we're gonna draw into another forest here. Mendip needs a shuffle. We're gonna tap 3. We'll play Glimpse the Cosmos. Look at the top 3 cards in my library. Put 1 into my hand and the rest in the bottom of my library. We're gonna take this Growth Spiral. And then we will put these in the bottom. But like, what's a win condition from, because I have a card called a land called Hall of the Spirit Giants or something like that. I wonder if that's playable. Okay, so then we'll untap, we'll draw into an island. We'll play the island, we'll tap 2, we'll play a growth spiral, which will draw us a card, and get a dispel. This allows us to put a land from a hand onto the battlefield. We'll play this forest. And then we'll tap 2, and we will cast a resculpt on our opponent. Yeah. Double untap, we'll draw. So right now, technically, I could play Plains, and then I can tap 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So then now we cast Journey to the Oracle. You know what I would want to play? Can I play with a Primeval Titan? I would want to play with that. I don't know if Primeval Titan is banned. We play Journey to the Oracle here. For 4 mana, we put these lands into play. And then, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands, this goes back to my hand. Mind you, this is turn 3. So Jadzi's in my hand, and then I can tap 4 here. You know, it would be nice if I had a 4 mana draw spell here. But we're just gonna cast a Calming Verse. Nah, we need a draw spell here. It is legal in modern. Oh. So then, yeah, I mean, I would probably play around that card. I don't know how people build around it, but I know it's banned in a commander. And I think that would be a really cool commander to play if I could. Alright, we have 4C. Let's get this to focus. So we tap 4 and we'll play a 4C, which allows us to scry 4 and then draw 2 cards. Oh, so it's a fast format. Alright, so we have to scry. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna draw into, well, obviously 1, 2, and then we will bottom these 2 cards. And then we'll pass a turn there. Which means that we can untap. And then this is turn 4, by the way. We'll draw. Here's another island. We could go we could play our land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tap 8. And we play Jadzi. And then we can hold up this Dispel. Or we could always bounce Jadzi back to our hand by discarding a card. But we do have a Dispel to counter any removal spells. So let's say like somebody casts a removal spell on our... No, I think we wait. We'll just leave it like that. We'll untap. Somebody casts a removal spell, and we'll cast a Dispel to not allow them to do that. Then we will reveal the top card of our library. It's a Boundless Realm, so we'll keep that on top. Oof, that would have been nasty if we could have... How about we just make this Cool. Well, we would end up drawing this anyway. It's fine. So now you have Boundless Realms. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll pay 7. And then we'll cast our Boundless Realms, which is going to allow us to search our library for as many basic lands as we have and put it onto the battlefield. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So we got to look for, wait, 1, 2. And then we played our land per turn, so technically there's 9. So now we search for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And these enter the battlefield tapped. And now we're just chilling. Because technically now we got a whole bunch of ways to... So then we pass the turn here, our opponent casts something, we'll tap 2, we'll counter that spell with Test of Talents. And then we can reveal the top card of our library, which is a Raven form. And then we'll pay 1 off of Jadzi's ability to cast this for free. And then we'll remove that thing. We'll remove a creature. Then we go back to our turn, which is an island. And I really need this to be a card draw spell, so I'm going to sub this out for a card draw spell. I find that playtesting this way and just having like a sideboard and subbing cards in as you need them, I find that it makes the deck play more consistently when you go actually sit down and play against people. Because then you're much more likely to draw into what you need in the moments that you need them. Okay, so that happens. We have an Unexplained Vision. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll tap 5 and play Unexplained Vision, which basically says we draw 3, and then because 3 blue mana was used, we scry 3 as well. Scry 3, 1, 2, 3, draw 3. A Foe Razor Regent, Broken Wings. I think we'll keep the Foe Razor. We'll draw this, put these 2 on the bottom. And then we'll draw 2. Alright, so a counterspell, a removal, and then another land. Okay, so we'll definitely play our land per turn. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll play a Foe Razor Regent, which is going to fight something. Enters the battlefield, it fights, and then it gets +2, gets 2 plus and plus encounters at the end of turn because it fought. So that's going to get 2 counters. We still have all this mana held up. Pass the turn there. Somebody's going to cast something. We'll use our counter spell to counter it. And then we'll reveal. It's a Wildest Dreams. I think we just keep this here. And we pass the turn. We go back to our turn. See, this is what I'm talking about. We just drew into a card that we would want. Now we have Wildest Dreams, which lets us return X cards from our graveyard to our hand. And then we exile this. And I think in this situation, technically, I think what I would want are a counterspell and a couple of draw spells. So we're going to go green, say 1, 2, 3, 4 cards right now is what we're going to play. So we'll play this, Wildest Dreams. That's going to trigger a Jadzi, so a reveal, which is a Prognostic Sphinx. We'll pay 1, we'll put this into play. So now we can discard a card, and then this gains hexproof until the end of turn. And when it attacks, we scry 3. And then we choose 4 cards from our graveyard. So we'll take Boundless Realms. We'll play 4C. And then how about the Resculpt to exile our opponent's commander? And then we want to counterspell from here. We'll just take the Dispel. So that's exile. Just goes here. This is our hand now. Now I can pay 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we're going to cast Boundless Realms, which means we're going to reveal. It's a Thorn Mammoth. I'll pay 1. I'll put Thorn Mammoth into play. That's going to fight a creature. And then whatever another creature just got removed. And then we're going to search a library for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. For 19 more lands, and 19 lands go into play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 14. What's up, bros? Thank you for liking the video. We're just gonna shuffle. So we're building, we just cast a Boundless Realms and put the rest of our lands into play from our library. We're building Jadzi. And the point of this video is I played this commander deck at my LGS last Friday, and it didn't do what I wanted it to do, so we're just fixing it so it can get more lands into play, because now I have almost every land in my library on the battlefield by turn. I think we're on turn 6 or 7 right now, and that's more like what I wanted to do with this deck. And then, yeah, I mean, I have all of these lands in play right now. I mean, we would pass a turn here. If I need to counter something, I would counter it with the Dispel, because I have a counter spell. We reveal, which is Scourge of Fleets, which means I'll pay 1 mana. Scourge of Fleets is going to go into play. And then we're going to bounce. When this enters the battlefield, return each creature your opponent's control with toughness. Basically, bounce our opponent's board. And then we'll untap with almost 30-something lands. We'll draw into a lumber. What was another one? We'll draw into our Lumbering Falls. We'll play that. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Oh wait, what am I doing? We'll cast 4C, which means we're gonna scry 4, 3, 4. We'll draw 2. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to draw the 2 counter spells. I'm going to put the Salundi Isle on the bottom, and we're going to keep Dragon Fangs on the top. So that as we pay 2 to cast this removal spell, we'll reveal the top card of our library, and then we'll pay 1 to equip Dragon Fangs to Jadzi, which is going to give Jadzi +1/+1 and Trample. So Jadzi is a 6/6 with Trample now. Then we go to combat, and our opponents should have their board bounced. So we'll deal 6 trample. Well, this fought, so this actually has 8 power due to the Foe-Raiser Regent being in play. And this should have fought again because this entered the battlefield. And I think whenever a creature enters the battlefield, this fights something. So yeah, this is actually a 10/10 with trample. We have 6 power flying here. Jadzi's a 6/6 trample. Scourge of Fleets is 6/6. And this is flying 3/5. And then when this attacks, we scry 3, 2, 3. We're going to put this on the bottom. We'll keep the Eureka Moment on the top, and then we'll keep the Biomass Mutation there. And then we'll pass a turn. Our opponent does something. We'll pay 1, 2 mana to counter it. And then they do something else. We'll reveal off of casting a spell to Eureka Moment. We'll pay 1. And then we'll draw 2 cards. 1, 2. And then this goes into the graveyard. And this is basically how the deck wants to function, because now we're basically drawing into counter spells consistently. We've put all of our lands effectively onto the battlefield, so every single time Jadzi triggers when we cast a non-creature spell, and we pretty much win the game next turn, because I could just cast Biomass Mutation and give my creatures base power and toughness 15/15, or just some ridiculous number because of all the lands I have in play. So, yeah, that would be a game-winning moment. So, we're going to go ahead and shuffle this, and I think we're going to play test this till turn 4 2 more times. And we'll draw 7 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The goal is to cast Journey to the Oracle, have 8 lands in play by at least turn... Thank you for liking the video. By at least turn 3 or 4. That's the goal. So we'll look, case the joint, draw 2 cards, land, draw, land. Okay, we play this. So we're going to draw for turn, a Lumbering Falls. We'll play that tapped. We will untap, we'll draw Disdainful Stroke. We will tap 2 here, we'll play Glimpse the Cosmos. We'll look at the top 3 cards of our library. We have an Unexplained Vision. We draw 1 card and put the rest in the bottom of our library. I think we have a draw spell here, so I don't think we need the draw spell. I would rather get, you know, I'm just going to play the dual land here, or take this, and we'll play that next turn. And then these will go on the bottom. And then Mobile Fighter G Gundam. Word, dude. That sounds tough, though. That sounds tough. So we got this. We'll untap. We'll draw into the Phyrexian Ingester. Yeah. And then we'll play the Tanglepool Bridge tapped so that we get that into play. And then we can hold up the Disdainful Stroke and pass the turn. And then let's say we cast the Disdainful Stroke, so we counter the spell. And then we will untap and draw into a Topiary Stomper. I really like this card, guys. I actually got this card during the FNM last week. So now we're going to get our land into play. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're on our turn 4. And right now, technically, we could... Let's get a creature on the battlefield. And then next turn, I just want to be able to cast this and not have this have to go back to the command zone. Because it says, if you control 8 or more lands, you may discard a card. If you do, return Journey of the Oracle to its owner's hand. And then we can play Jadzi for 8. Instead of having to pay 10, I think, because we cast Journey to the Oracle, because technically it went back to the command zone. I'm not too sure of the reading on that, or the wording on that, the ruling, but to me, that's what makes sense. So let's go 1, 2, 3. We'll play the Topiary Stomper, which is a 4/4 Vigilance, amazing looking card. And then we search the library for a basic land. That'll go into play. Then we'll pass a turn there. Because now, during our turn, what we can do is untap here. And then we'll draw into a Galta. Cool. 2 dinosaurs. So now, technically, we could go Island. We tap 4. We play Journey to the Oracle. We put 2 lands into play. This is turn 5, by the way. We put 2 lands into play, and then we discard a card. I'm going to discard, I think we have to discard Galta, because Phyrexian Ingester removes a creature. We'll play fun. We'll keep Galta. The Ingester will go. And then now Jadzi goes to our hand. And then we can technically, now our Topiary Stomper can attack. He has Vigilance because we have 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we have exactly 8 lands in play. Yeah, we do. And now we'll attack my Vigilant Creature. It's a 4/4, so that's fun. We'll pass a turn. And then on our opponent's turn, we'll end step, we'll cast Case the Joint, which is going to let us draw 2 cards. So 4C and another land. And then we look at the top card of each player's library. I have a Rampaging Baloths here. Which technically will draw into the Rampaging Baloths. Do we play around the Rampaging Baloths, or do we get Jadzi on the battlefield? But that's the whole situation, right? Like, technically, I could play this and then save these 2, get a land into play, get another 4/4 beast, and just wait for somebody to wipe the board, so that, or cast a removal spell, so that when I play Jadzi, I know that Jadzi will stay alive. Because technically, right now, I don't have a counterspell inside my hand. Or I could play a 4C to scry 4, 2, 3, 4. And technically, I would draw 2. So I would choose... Honestly, in this situation, I would choose a... I really like Timeless Witness. But I think removal is important, so we're going to take Anticipate and the Raven form. We'll put these 2 on the bottom. And then if I cast Anticipate, we'd look at the top 3. And no counter spells still. I mean, we'll take Preordain, put these on the bottom, and then Preordain, we scry 2. No counter spells still. Where are the counter spells? There's one. Okay. Okay. Last time, this is it. So if we do this technically 2 times in a row, we have done our job. This was time well spent, according to Magic the Gathering commander terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Land, think twice, land, Ravenford, land, Colony Heart Expedition. Oh, wow, okay. So we're going to play this. We'll draw into a turn aside. So a counter spell. Yeah, it'll be fun, dude. We'll be chilling. So we'll play the island and then we'll pass. And then we'll draw into a Molimo Maro Sorcerer. So I think we get down the forest here. We'll tap 2. We'll play the Colony Heart Expedition. And then we'll pass. And then we'll draw into a Biomass Mutation. Not the best draws in the world, but whatever. We would have untapped and played our... We'll play this island just in case. We'll tap 2. This gets a counter. So I'm going to put a... let's see. We're going to put a dime here. And then... we will cast Think Twice, which will let us just draw a card. Eureka Moment, that's cool. And then we will untap and then draw into a Thriving Isle. So I think this was a fail. I mean, I could technically get down a forest, which is going to put another counter on Colony Heart Expedition. And then I could pay 4 mana. I'll play Eureka Moment, which will draw me 2 cards. Galta. Wow. Curate. Okay. We put a land from a hand onto the battlefield. This goes tapped. And then we'll get another counter here. And then I can sacrifice this for 2 more lands. So here's this. And here's that. So how many lands do we have on the battlefield right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. if I can top deck a land right now, then technically right now this is turn 4 or 3. I don't even remember, dude. We drew. This is turn 4 that we're on right now. And turn 4, we want to consistently be at 8. Turn 4 or 5, we want to be at 8 mana. And right now, we would pass turn 4. We're on turn 5. Land. Let's go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So we didn't have to cast Journey to the Oracle there. That Colony Heart Expedition and the way that we played that kind of worked out for us. So technically right now, we would just, I mean, what I would do is tap 8 and just get down Jadzi. And then I would pass turn. Technically, we do have a counterspell here. We could always discard a card to put this back into our hand to protect it. But, and I probably would if I needed to. And I would get rid of the Molimo here. But let's just untap, see what we get next. In turn 6 is Tanglepool Bridge. We'll just play this tapped. And technically now, like, I don't know if we want to play too offensively. But I would pay 2 to play a Curate, which is going to allow me to look at the top 2 cards in my library. Put any number of them into your graveyard. Put the best on the top of your library in any order. Then we draw a card. So I think I kind of like this Magus of the Future. But it does cost a lot of mana. Can I play the Magus this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can actually. Okay. So how about we just do... Wait a minute. Because we cast this first. So technically on cast, this triggers. So I would reveal a forest. So this would enter the battlefield off of Jadzi's ability. And then now I curate. I look at the top 2. Okay. What I could then do is draw. I could put the island into the graveyard. I could put the island into the graveyard, draw the Magus of the Future, so I draw a card, and then pay 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, I need how many blue? 3. Blue, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can play Magus of the Future. Let me fix my mana so that I have 1 blue mana untapped. And now we play with the top card of our library revealed, which is Case the Joint. Let me just move this where you guys can see that. And now we would pass the turn. And I could always just tap this to turn aside to counter a spell that targets a permanent I control, which is then going to trigger a Jadzi, which would allow me to cast this. I'll pay the 1 mana to cast Case the Joint, and then I draw 2 cards. And then 2 lands. I'll play with the top card of library revealed. So we have a Foe-Razor Regent. We'll draw for turn. This would reveal an offer you can't refuse. So I think, do we have a way to draw cards right now? No, we don't. I mean, technically I could cast this off the top of my library. We'll play a land. I think right now we play removal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we get down the Foe-Razor Regent to deal damage, and so on and so forth. Things happen. But yeah, the deck works now. Okay. So that effort was totally worth it, because now I think we have something that plays a little bit more consistently than it did before. So mission accomplished.